Hi, this is Sandy. This week we're working on the color wheel. When we first started the videos, we did a color wheel, but it was a very simplified color wheel. We went into it more this time, and we're going to discuss about the different ways we can use a color wheel when we use our paints. We're ready to start on our color wheel. Now, the first thing that we need to talk about is why it's a wheel, why they call it a color wheel. Well, obviously, it's round, and a wheel is round. I got this on my paper by taking a 7-inch bowl or plate, turning it over, and I just went around it. Used that as my guide. Then I want you to think about a clock. Here's 12 o'clock. Here's 6 o'clock. Those are the first numbers that are easy to put in because you know the 12 goes right on top of the 6. In a clock, you know the 3 is on top of a 9 or opposite of 9. So I've got my 3 and my 9 here. I went ahead and I put all of these in on the inside just like a clock. And then I know that my primary colors are going to be at 12, at 8, and at 4. My secondary colors are going to be at 10, 2, 5, and 7. We're not going to have anything at 3 and 9. Our primary colors are blue, yellow, and red. You know, because a clock is round, these can slide around anyway. It's just easier if we all start at the same places. Our secondary colors, blue and red, made purple. Blue and yellow made green. And red and yellow made orange. These are what we're going to put on our paper. We're not going to mix these colors because we want what comes out of the tube. Now we're going to talk about other things, but I want to just show you how I get these paints out. This is burnt orange, and if you'll notice how very little I put in there. This one has some paint in it, so I'm not going to put anything in it. And this one has some paint in it, so I'm not doing that one. Yellow is the only other one that I really need. The rest of them, I can just put a drop of water on it, and it should come to life. Okay, so let's put our primary colors back out here so we know what we're doing. I've got my round brush. I've got my water. I've got my paint. I'm going to start with yellow because yellow is the lightest color. When I do this, I've got a lot of water here and I've got just the tip of my brush in the yellow. And you can see the water that's coming out of my brush because it's running down. This is the paint that I'm going to use. I'm not going to use that straight yellow because this is watercolor. It has to have water to activate it. When I put it in here, I am just going to put a little triangle of yellow. Rinsing my brush. I'm going to do the same thing to the red. See, I just put a little bit of water on top of this red, and boy, it's coming back. Once again, there we go. I'm at 8 o'clock. Rinsing my brush, getting some clean water, going into my blue. And at 4 o'clock, I don't have enough blue on there. At 4 o'clock, I'm doing that one. Okay, primary colors. These are the colors that everything that we're doing is made up of. Now, because we're using Daniel Smith colors, we know that the red and the yellow are going to make our orange. That's this color right here. See how I just put a little bit of water next to that fresh color, and I pull it over there. Okay, now at 10 o'clock, I'm going to do the same thing. If the color isn't dark enough, I'm going to go in and give it a little more color. There we go. Rinse in my brush. Now the green is going to go right here at 2 o'clock. If I were to come in with different colors of reds, yellows, and greens, and oranges and that, it would all have to coordinate. Our color wheel is telling us that these colors work together. I'm going to do the purple. Now, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of it. Why do we have a wheel? You know that opposites are hot and cold, black and white, dark and light. They're two different ends of the spectrum. Well, in our wheel, we have opposites. The opposite of purple is yellow. The opposite of red is green. And the opposite of blue is orange. If you think about the color schemes in your holidays, you're going to see that the opposites is the colors they go with. So here's Christmas colors, red and green. Here's Halloween colors, orange and blue. And here's Easter colors, yellow and purple. If it weren't for this wheel, I said, let's do the opposite, find the opposite of this color, you would have no idea where to go. This wheel gives us a thing that we can see. Now it's interesting that the opposite color is called a complement. And just like you give a compliment to somebody who you like their dress, or you like their hair, or maybe you like their smile, that's a compliment. You tell them what they like. Well, if you put orange next to blue, it's going to complement each other. If you put red against green, they complement each other. If you put red against orange, there isn't that big of a difference because there's too much red in that orange. You want something to show it off. In order to show off red, you're going to use green. So these are all arranged on the color wheel. Now we can go further on the color wheel. We've got this orange. We can put the orange out. Rinse your brush well. And come in with some yellow and just drop some yellow in. I'm just trying to drop it along the edge. There we go. And it's going to mix on its own. We're going to let it mix. We could mix it in our palette, or in our place where I'm not sure what you're using to mix your colors in. We could mix it on there, but it's not going to look the same. Okay, the next one I'm going to do, get some clean water, and I'm going to go over to this yellow, And I'm going to rinse my brush and go back over to this orange. And now I'm going to drop the orange in just on the one side. Let it mix over there. I could dry it with the dryer and it's going to stop mixing right here. If I let it mix on its own, it's going to have a more natural color mix, and that's what I would rather see. Okay, so when you were coloring as a child, and you got your crayons out, they would have orange yellow, and yellow orange. That's how they got it. Let's go ahead and let's do another yellow spot. And this time, let's take that green and let's put it in the corner like that. And then let's take the green, put it out there again. This has to be wet if we're going to let it mix on the paper like this. Rinse your brush, get some yellow, and drop it in. You're going to be able to see the difference in the greens that you're going to get. So now we've got yellow green and green yellow, because we started out with the green on this one and the yellow on that one. Okay, so now we're going to go around our clock doing this, but I want you to pay attention to one thing. If I told you I wanted the complement of yellow-green, where would you be able to find it? You'd be able to find it this way, because it's the opposite. On a color wheel, we can see that. Okay, so now I'm going to do blue. And I'm going to take it, I'm going to put my blue out on the paper. Let's see. Right here. And I'm going to add some green to it. Now this one, I'm going to take the green and I'm going to add the blue to it. We'll see the difference when it dries. So now I've got green. Now I've got green-blue. There I've got blue-green. Now I'm going to take my blue, put it out here. I'm going to add purple. Now on our colors, these were called violet, blue violet and red violet. Remember those? Okay. Now I'm going to make purple. Take some purple. Now I'm going to add some blue. Okay, over here, I'm going to take my purple. I'm going to add some red. I'm going to add some red. Take my red. I'm going to add some purple. You can help these mix just by lifting your page, letting the water run. Okay, now let's move on to our red. And then I'm going to add the orange. Take my orange. I'm going to add my red. So we can name these blue, blue, purple, or violet. And this is violet, blue. This is purple or violet, whichever you want. This is violet, red. This one's red, violet. This one here is red. This one right here is red, orange. Got to be careful that I'm not getting my hand in this paint. This one over here is orange, red. And this one is orange. Everything is out on my color wheel. These are the basic colors. With these colors, you will get every color you want from these tubes.